Hello everyone, it's great to see you all here. My name is Iqlima Az-Zahra Ciersya. I am from Management International Batch 2020 student. Today, I'm going to answer a question from my lecturer, Mr. Adi Mursalin, for the final exam. And the first, I will answer question part A, which deal with the activities in the Zoom meeting. There are two questions here. And next, I will answer the question for part B, which deal with theories of advanced HRM. There are four questions, and I will read the article whose title has been given and answer the question that follows. Let's start. Part A. Are you active in attending the lecture of OB? Do you engage in the discussion handled by your friends? Can you give the evidence of your activities in the discussion in the Zoom meeting? How many times did you attend the organizational behavior after the midterm test? Okay, my answer, I actively participate in OB class every week, especially in discussion after the midterm test. I always attend the class. I attend as and answer the group that was presenting. One of them is for Novelli and Fatima's group, who's presented chapter 9, interpersonal behavior. Then in the last two online classes we did, I also answered the question that Sir Adi had given before the class started. And the second question, what has been presented before the final exam test? Mention the topic of the chapters and the presenters. How do you join the discussion? How do you find the presenters? And my answer is the first group is Nisha Nazifa and Vicenza. They discuss about chapter 14, stress management. The second group is Alika and Abdul Razak. They discuss about chapter 11, conflict management. The next group is Zakia and Iqlima. They present about chapter 15. The topic is about leadership. The next is Novelia and Nina. They discuss about chapter 9, interpersonal behavior. The next is Viona and Vivian. They discuss about chapter 7, motivation. The next is Adel and Yosia. They discuss about chapter 13, communication. The next is April and Yatisha. They discuss about chapter 6, value, attitude, and job satisfaction. And the last group is Zosa and Vivi. They talk about chapter 8, perception and individual discussion making. All the presenters are really active when they present all their topics. They also present it really clearly and easy to understand, and all their topics are easy to understand and very insightful. And I will answer part B. The first question is, please download the article posted on group WA. And what are the 5 models of organizational behavior? The first is autocratic model. This model has its roots in the historical past and definitely became the most prominent model of the industrial revolution of the 80s and 90s. It gave the owners and managers the power to dictate the firm decision while making employees obey their orders. The model asserts that employees need to be instructed and motivated to perform while managers do all the thinking. The whole process is formalized with the managers, and authority power has the right to give the command to the people. The second is custodial model. The custodial approach induces employees now to show their dependency and loyalty towards the company and not to be the boss or managers or supervisors. The employee in this environment are more psychologically contented and preoccupied with their rewards, but it is not necessary. They will be strongly motivated to give the performance. The third is supportive models. Unlike the two previous approach, the supportive model emphasis on a motivated and inspiring leader. There is no space for any control or authoritative power in this model or on the incentive or reward schemes, but it is simply based on motivating staff through the establishment of the managers and employee relationship and the treatment that is given to employees on a daily basis. The first is collegial models. This model is an extension of the supportive model. The managers, it is oriented towards the team performance, while each employee is responsible for their tasks and towards each others. And the fifth is system model. In the system model, the exceptions of the managers are much more than getting the work done by the employees. The managers have to show their emotional side, but be more compassionate by caring towards their team, and they must be sensitive to the needs of the diverse workforce. And the second question is in your opinion, out of 5 models of OB, what is the best model of OB and why? The answer is the best model of OB, in my opinion, is the supportive model, because it is the most emerging model of today's corporate era. In this model, managers try to foster two main concepts, which are authenticity and transparency and social intelligence. Managers always try to make the employees feel part of the project, and the organization give them all the support so that they can increase their efficiency and output. In turn, the employees feel more emotionally and psychologically part of the organization and become more responsible for their action. Employees feel more inspired, motivated, and important, and feel that what they are doing and what they think will be good for the organization goes beyond their personal achievement. The next question is, what are the organizational models? There are 5 organizational models. The first is line organizational model. This is a very simple hierarchical structure that could have the CEO over the operation director and administrative director. Those two are literal equivalents, meaning they don't respond to each other but have the same level of influence in the company structure. And the next is the functional organizational model. This looks similar to the line model, except instead of subordinates only reporting to the managers directly above them, they report to two or more managers. This model is designed to help keep all the pertinent and parties engaged with the right information by getting all the information from subordinate employees. The next is the line and staff model, a structure that functions the same way that the line models does, except each managerial level has an added dynamic of its own staff. So directors report to the CEO but might do so via the CEO's personal staff. Directors might share a staff that are not the subordinate teams in the structure but instead support the administrative needs of the directors. The fourth is project-based model, become much more dynamic compared to the three varieties of line models defined above. When any company is highly project-oriented, it usually designates teams of similar job function to provide each team with specialty resource. The next is the matrix model, the most dynamic operational model and quite efficient for companies that are simultaneously running multiple product launch, marketing campaign, and development. The next question is, what are the main function of behavior? There are several functions of behavior. The first is attention. An individual may be engaged in behavior in order to assess attention from other students, teacher, or other people. The attention can be positive or negative. The second is escape. An individual may be engaging in a behavior in order to escape a situation, activity, or person. Escape in the behavior may not always be to get out of a test. It may be to escape a specific part of the environment. The next is sensory. An individual may be engaging in a behavior to give themselves some type of internal sensation that is pleasing or remove an internal sensation that is averse. The next is access to tangibles. An individual may be engaging in the behavior in order to assess an item or activities. And I will answer for part C. The first question, based on the title above, how many research questions can you write? Mention them. The first question is, what is the purpose of this research? The second question, what method is used for this research? And third, how many population samples were taken for this study? And the next is, how many variables are used for this research? And fifth, What are the results of the research? And the second question, how many variables are involved in the title above? Mention and explain the variables. There are three variables that involved in the research, namely two independent variables, organizational behavior. The key independent variables in the model of organizational behavior are productivity, absenteeism, turnover, divine workplace behavior, organizational citizenship behavior, and job satisfaction. And organizational climate. Organizational climate was measured with 5 components: leadership, employee relation, employee commitment, employee satisfaction, and employee motivation. And one dependent variable, namely job satisfaction. The factors of job satisfaction: work environment, pay and salary, fairness and promotion criteria, the atmosphere in the team and at the office, work-life balance, varying work, development opportunities, flexible working, and autonomy. The third question, do you find population necessary in the title above? Why? Population really necessary in the research because population data is essential for planning purpose. Any country needs to know the size and composition of its population, around age and sex structure, among other factors. The target population is essential for three primary reasons. The first is sets clear direction on the scopes and objective of the research data types. The second defines the characteristic variable of the individuals who qualify for the studies. The third provides the scope of the total population or universe for determining sample size. And for this title, we need to know the population because we would like to identify how affect organizational behavior and organizational climate on employee job satisfaction has on each people, and they focusing on PT Eagle Indo Parma. The fourth question is, what theories do you use to support your problem analysis? The theoretical framework consists of concept and together with their definition and reference to relevant scholarly literature, existing theory that is used for the particular studies. The theoretical framework must demonstrate an understanding of theories and concepts that are relevant to the topic of the research paper and that related to the border areas of knowledge being considered. The theory that can support this problem is Locke's values theory. This theory was conceptualized by E.A. Locke. This theory states that job satisfaction occurs where job outcomes and employee receive match with those desired them. Accordingly, the more the employees receive as outcomes they value, the more they feel satisfied. The less they receive as outcome they value, the less they feel satisfied. The fifth question, please explain the relationship among variables and the development hypothesis. The development of and the testing of hypothesis and research question is an important part of the research process. Hypotheses are basically statements about the relationship between variables, while research questions are questions about proposed relationship between variables. A research question shows some kind of relationship or difference between variables. A research question can be written to explore process, understand behavior, discovering meaning, describe experience, and report stories. A research hypothesis propose that an independent variable has significant effect on a dependent variable. And the sixth question, based on the title above, please write the research model and explain it. Model that has been used for the case above is analytical model. An analytical research paper is an academic piece of writing that is aimed at analyzing different point of view from multiple sources on a particular topic. In contrast to an argumentative research paper, the main purpose of the analytical research paper is to present a view, different option, and to draw logical conclusion. And that's all for my answer. I hope and that you can understand my answer. Please give comments and subscribe. Thank you.